I have run over 1,000 Facebook ads to get strangers to actually walk into goldsmith and jewelry shops, and I've written over 100 offers for that to happen. In this video, I just wanted to show you my exact process currently on how do I write offers and how do I actually advertise those offers to get strangers off Facebook to walk into goldsmith shops and jewelry shops. So this is a huge template on all the combinations on how to build offers, how to write offers, right? We have seen that when we have advertisements on Facebook that in the headline, so for example, in this part of the ad, which is the basic, I'll just zoom in just to show you guys. Right. So for example, this part of the ad, if we have in this part of the ad, which is the headline of the ad, we have an offer that is structured in a specific way, which is written in a specific way, we get more leads. That's it, right? So leads, for those who don't know what leads are just people who saw our Facebook ad and said, oh yeah, this is what I want. I want a dream wedding ring. I want a necklace. I want earrings. I want bangles. I want whatever, right? Whatever we are selling, whatever the offer is at that point in time. Uh, and then they click the ad and then they give us their phone number, their email address, their name, and their last name and say, yes, I want you as a shop owner, as a jewelry shop owner, as a goldsmith to contact me and sell me that ring, that product that I just saw in the advertisement. All right. When they click submit to their information, they become a lead, right? And that is when we can call them, we can text them, we can email them, and then we can get them to walk into our shop and buy our jewelry, right? Really expensive jewelry. That's the whole point, getting strangers from Facebook to become customers. That's the whole point, right? So we found that if we have an offer here structured in a very specific way, we get more leads. All right. Why? I have no idea. I would like to just put here, click this button to get the ring. Like, honestly, I would like to just put it would be way more simple, but instead we have to have an offer. So this is how we write offers. This is at least the way we do it. So what we do is we found that obviously I learned this from a bunch of different internet marketers and marketers in general who have written a bunch of books on this, by the way, is that if you use formulas to write your offers, you can make a very scalable and consistent process of writing winning headlines that work, headlines that people go click, right? That sort of thing. So we have a couple of formulas, and I would just want to go through a couple of them in this video. So formula number one is time plus dream outcome plus container word. Now, this is mostly Alex Hormoz's formula. I don't know if he made it, but he uses it, and I learned that from him 2 years ago when I started running ads. And it kind of goes like this: 45 minutes, that's the time, that's duration. Dream wedding ring, that's the dream outcome. That's what our customer wants or our audience wants. And then container word, something that groups all of the words before, right? Consultation, right? So 45-minute dream wedding ring consultation. So if we have this is the most popular thing we have ever run, right? This is number one thing we have ever run, right? If we have this here, we get a bunch of leads. We have seen this consistently. We have seen this in Sweden, in Australia. We have seen this, all right? And then a couple of more examples, like 30-minute custom engagement ring design session. Now, for example, I would just take out the design part. Actually, I'll do it here. What can I write? Yeah. All right. So this design, I would just take it out. And I would just put session, right? So 30-minute custom engagement ring session, right? And then honestly, what I would do is something a little bit cheeky, is I would do this. I would have I would have like line, right? And then arrow. And then here would be my CTA, right? 30-minute custom engagement ring session, line, arrow, and then the CTA, which is like learn more, right? So this is the CTA. So I would have the headline here, and then line, it would kind of go like this. Yeah. So I I can write. Sorry, something's going on with that. But you guys understand, right? So it would kind of go line, 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 and then the arrow there, and then get the offer, or in our case, learn more because they would be submitting a form, right? So anyway, you guys get the idea. So 60-minute jewelry makeover planning call. It could, instead of planning, I would just have that, right? Call 20-minute free ring resizing assessment. That's okay. The assessment, I would change the word on that. That's a little bit of a complicated word. 90-minute bespoke bridal jewelry design experience. I would never run this, but you get the idea with the formula, right? By the way, I will show you how to do this in AI in a second, and we have a prompt to take out these sort of shitty headlines that even on the formula, there can be shitty headlines because of the words that you're using. So for example, this is a shitty headline. 90-minute bespoke bride jewelry design experience. Like that's a shitty headline, never running. So we have a prompt that kind of takes out these sort of shitty headlines so that you don't have to really deal with them. But anyway, that's one formula, right? Formula number two is get desired result without feared sacrifice. Don't worry, I'll show you. All right. So, for example, get your dream wedding ring without spending a fortune, right? And then here we would have like line, arrow, and then the thing, right? I would find a way, I think, to make this a little bit shorter, but it's a pretty good headline, right? Get a custom engagement ring without waiting months. Or instead of months, I would put this instead of waiting days, right? But again, you understand the formula. So if you just follow this formula and keep writing them, you will find winners. Like you will find formulas that people just go click. Let's keep going. Get your jewelry repaired without leaving your neighborhood. That's a pretty good one if you're advertising locally, right? Get a stunning bespoke ring without the stress of choosing alone. Again, the bespoke word, people will have to think what that means. We don't want people to have to think about stuff. But get a family heirloom restored without risking the original. Heirloom would 100% change that, but it's a good headline without this one, right? Without this word. Formula number three is how to achieve dream outcome in time frame, even if biggest objection. So this is a long formula and it's only for ads that are article ads. So let's get into that. So there are different types of ads. So for example, these sort of ads are e-commerce ads. So you click get offer and you get thrown into a product page, right? So instead of obviously AG1, this sort of powder, you would have here your jewelry, right? And then you would buy the jewelry. Here we would say buy now, right? If you're running e-commerce, right? Then there are another type of ad, which are article ads. So for example, universities run this a bunch. So for example, what is considered plagiarism in the age of AI? Now, this is a university. This is University of Phoenix running this ad. So they are putting money behind this advertisement. Now, what's the point of this advertisement, right? Like, why would you pay money for people to see your article, right? The thing is that they are able to convert people from this article. So number one, they have request info, right? The minute you click it, they're going to start bombarding you with programs, right? And then you have a bunch of links in this article. Now, all of these links are directed to convert the students. So for example, even here you have in the side chat, email, text, right? It's all this article is designed like universities figure out how to address AI. Like all of this is designed to get you to convert into a student, right? So in our case, as local goldsmith shop owners, as local jewelry shop owners, we could run articles that have headlines like these. How to get your custom engagement ring ready in 3 weeks, even if you have no idea what style she wants, right? This would be for guys who want to propose, right? How to design your dream wedding ring in one appointment, even if you're on a budget. Now, that headline would redirect women to click on the ad to read one of these articles that would be 100% designed to convert them into a customer. So you would have a bunch of links and call to actions in the article. The article has to help that person. And then if the article helps that person will want more, and they will click one of those call to actions, give you their contact info, you turn them into a lead. It's just a different mechanism to get a lead, right? The reason why we run these and not very direct ones, obviously we run the most amount of ads we run as direct response ads, right? But if you want something like this, these are designed though because you are able to write like curiosity headline, right? You're able to write really clickbaity headlines without them being fake, right? So, for example, if you run a clickbaity headline, but it's a direct response, which is you click and then you have to submit your contact info, that's scammy and people don't like that, right? But if you run a clickbaity headline and the headline actually directs you to a clickbaity article that explains the subject and is actually clickbaity, and that entire article directs the readers and directs the potential leads to become leads, then that's not a problem, right? That's why people run these sort of ads. Now, there's another ad, another ad structure that you can run. So, for example, in Gem Launch, they will take you to a landing page that has a form, a contact form, right? And then there are the ads that we run that are obviously everyone runs these sort of ads that are you see the ad, right? You have all the images and the headlines and the sub headlines, and then you have the CTA. And then when someone clicks the CTA, you get given this sort of form, but on Facebook, right? So on Facebook, you have the name, last name, phone number, and email address, and then you have a submit button, right? So you have those are called instant forms. So instant forms, right? Make this bigger. All right. So these are instant form ads. Obviously, they are lead generation ads, right? So that should give you an idea of why we would even run these sort of headlines that kind of don't make sense if it is an instant form ads. But it's these sort of headlines are for article ads. All right. Let's keep going. So, how to get your customer engagement ring ready in 3 weeks, even if you have no idea what style she wants. This is for dudes who are about to propose. How to design your dream wedding ring in one appointment, even if you're on a budget. That's for chicks. How to get your grandmother's ring restored in 5 days, even if it's severely damaged. So that's for goldsmiths, not for jewelry shop owners, but for goldsmiths, right? That's an ad you can run. Then we have Formula 4, which is from David Ogilvy. So huge marketer, father of marketing, right? So you have the specific number, desirable thing for target audience. Again, I'll say that again. The specific number, desirable thing for target audience. Now, this is also some sort of article ad or headline for an article, but honestly, you could run these sort of ads just for direct instant forms. I'll tell you how, right? So, example, the 3-step ring design process for couples who want something unique. The 5-day custom ring experience for first-time buyers, right? The 30-minute consultation for couples who want a ring that actually fits their story. Now, how do you use one of these headlines if you're not running an article ad? Well, pretty simple. You just explain that in the copy, right? So you just explain the headline in the copy. I'll show you what copy is in a sec, right? So you're able to explain this, right? You're able to explain this sort of headline here. Yeah. So hook. What's a hook? Official announcement, right? That's a hook. Now, what's copy, right? We have to explain this sort of headline in the copy. So what's the copy? So this is the copy. All of this is copy. So this is just what comes after the hook, right? This is the written part, right? You're able to explain the headline and the copy. So for example, you'll be able to the day 5 customer experience for first time buyers, or the 30-minute consultation for couples who want a ring that actually fits their story. If you write copy that just continues that, people will read it, people will understand it, people will click the CTA, right? Obviously, you have to make a CTA in the copy for this to work, but that's fine. You can do that. One can do that pretty simply. CTA is called call to action, right? Just tell them what to do next. Click here, click the link, click the button, click the learn more button, click the sign button, click the download button. That's called the CTA. You're telling them what to do next, right? All right. So, um, I just wanted to show you. We I mean, I could go down this entire table, but honestly, so we have the basics like Grand Slam offer checklist, right? We have the dream outcomes. We have likelihood of achievement. This is basically from an offers book, but we have guarantees, bonuses, scarcity and urges. We have all of these sort of things that, when combined and just written and rifled with, that they turn out to be pretty good. But I don't want to go through this entire thing. So I'll just show you a very, very simple way of doing it. So I have a prompt here that's super simple, but it works. So if you copy this prompt and then you go to Claude.ai, and you just paste the prompt, it will give you a bunch of these sort of headline offers that you are basically able to copy and paste on your Facebook ads, right? Now, we never copy and paste headlines. The reason we do that is that normally we grab these headlines that AI is going to give us, and we rewrite them ourselves. We like to do it. I like to do it that way. Now, if you're lazy, you can do it this way. It's fine. We honestly, I haven't seen a difference. I've seen that these sort of AI generated headlines work exactly the same as when I write my headlines. I have not seen any difference. So you can do it, just copy and paste it. I've honestly to God, not seen 1 inch of a difference in cost of leads, amount of leads, click through rate, nothing. I'm not seeing a difference in it. Maybe it's just me, right? But do whatever you want. So, Formula One, which is time plus dream outcome plus container word, is get your custom ring in 2 weeks, no waiting list. Find your perfect wedding ring this weekend. Complete ring repair in 48 hours, guaranteed. That's a nice one. Design your dream engagement ring in 3 days. I would change 3 days. That's a lot. Walking now, leave with fixed jewelry today. That's a shitty one. All right. Formula 2. Get desired result without feared sacrifice is get a perfect engagement ring without breaking your budget. That's a very good headline. All right. Very good headline. And then you'd have, let's see if this works. You'd have line CTA, right? Remember, you can do funny things with your headline. You can do even funnier things with your sub headline. But anyway, restore your gold ring without losing its history. Now, remember, that's for goldsmiths. Now, use if useful. All right. So some of these are headlines for goldsmiths, for silversmiths, from stone setters, people who actually design and make and craft. They are craftsmen. And some of these headlines are for people who just sell jewelry. They don't make jewelry. They sell jewelry. All right. So use is if useful. Right. Another one, get expert ring repair without waiting weeks. Trash. Design custom jewelry without expensive designer prices. Again, I would highly recommend you not mentioning price when it comes to jewelry, because I would much rather you make the jewelry seem extremely luxurious instead of making the jewelry seem extremely inexpensive, right? You want to go up, we don't want to go down, right? Get your wedding ring resized without scratching it, right? Yeah. All right, Formula 3. How to achieve dream outcome in time frame even if biggest objection. All right. How to get, again, this is for you could also use this for instant forms ads now that I'm thinking about it. We have done a couple of these. I don't honestly, I don't even remember how it went. Trying to think. I mean, you obviously Facebook ads, you'll get leads, right? But were they good? I don't remember. I'll figure that out later. I don't know. But you can do that. You can put these sort of headlines on your ads without actually having to redirect them to an article, right? But anyway, let's keep going. How to get a custom ring in 10 days, even if you have a tight timeline, right? Like, for example, 10 days, replace that with 1 hour. All right. How to restore your family gold in 5 days, even if it's badly damaged. Now, that's for a goldsmith, right? How to find your perfect wedding ring in 1 week, even if you're picky. Again, 1 week, like how to find your wedding ring in like 5 seconds, and then you just direct them to the wedding ring and ta-da, right? How to resize your ring in 3 days, even if it's a rare metal. Yeah, shitty. How to design your dream engagement ring in 2 weeks, even if you don't know what you want. That's a very long headline. I don't think you should run that. Yeah, I don't think you should run that. That's a very long headline. You want headlines to be a little bit short because remember, Facebook only gives you this space. Now, obviously, they can give you a couple of lines in this space, but if you're doing it on a cell phone, you don't, if like, obviously, a lot of people will see your Facebook ads on their cell phone and not on a computer like this. So this space will be much smaller. All right. So keep that in mind. All right, there we go. Yeah. All right. Formula for the specific number, desirable thing for target audience, right? So your target audience will be whoever spends more in your whoever has bought more jewelry, whoever has spent higher prices. I mean, has spent more in your shop, right? Those will be your target market, right? So the step three, the stri- the three-step engagement ring selection for first-time buyers. Shitty ad. That's a shitty headline. The 5-day ring repair guarantee for busy professionals. That's pretty good. The 7-piece wedding ring package for couples. That's a pretty good one. I would run that. I'd 100% run it. All right. The 2-hour custom ring consultation for engaged couples. I'll change this 2 hour and put it like a couple of minutes. The 10-day, Jesus, whatever is 10 days, don't run that. The 10-day design promise for custom jewelry lovers. Nah, shitty. Shitty. This is an X. Ugh. Right? But again, you get the idea. Now, what I would do is I would just copy and paste the ones that I like, the ones that will hit, and I would rewrite them at 5 different ways, and we will find winners, right? Again, this should take about 15 minutes. Honestly, it should take 15 minutes. So don't worry about the time. You, and maybe this sounds like a lot of time. It takes 15 minutes. Okay? You haven't, there is another way of doing this. So as a secret, we have a bunch of documents. So what I did, I always keep saying we did. It's just me, right? So what I did is I went on Ad Library for like a week and I went to the biggest advertisers and the best advertisers, especially direct response advertisers. And I copied all of their headlines. I just did this. I just kept doing this. Right. I just kept copying the headlines, pasting it in a Google Doc, like this. Right. And I just kept pasting them. I pasted all of their sub headlines. So, for example, worth 76 USD, right? Like all of them. Claim your offer with ID.me, right? Like all of this, but obviously these are shitty subheadlines, right? But a great subheadline, which involves zero writing, is, for example, King Kong dot co. All right, so I will show you some really fun subheadlines. So, for example, Tesla of client acquisition. Watch carefully, then click. Right, like super good subheadline. Another subheadline: 5 stars from Fisher Roofing. That's a spectacular subheadline. Right. Let's keep going. I want to find one with just 5 stars in it. Let's find one. There are a couple with just 5 stars in them. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's find one. All right. So this is like 5 stars, 4 out of 8 stars out of 7,000 reviews, 7,000+ reviews. Right. So you can run sub headlines that are very, very interesting, right? That complement the headline, right? 5 stars for Polaroid. Now, you can even put like 5 stars from as many customers as you ever had. Like, yeah, you can be creative in this sort of stuff, right? Uh, yeah, like for example, this 5 stars out of this many reviews, right? You can do that for your local shop, right? 5 stars. If that doesn't convince them, then nothing will. Mm, all right. Well, you have a bunch of these sort of ads, all right? And those are the things you're able to do. Now, what we did is we, we- what I did, what I did is that I just took an entire week of like 12-hour days, 7 days a week, and I just compiled many documents. So I compiled one huge document with like 4,000 headlines or something like that, just for headlines. And then another one of huge documents for sub headlines. And then another document for hooks. And then like these are hooks, right? Big Body Lands loves this novel. Why are we being called the Millionaire Factory? Here's how to tickle the pixel. Now, this is for marketing, right? This is not for goldsmiths or jewelry shops, but you understand the idea, right? Just huge, huge amounts of information and data that you just go into Claude and you go into one of the projects, right? And you create a project, one for each. Remember, don't give Claude entire thing because it will just get distracted, right? Create a project, one of these projects for each of them. So create one project for headlines, create another project for sub headlines, create another project for hooks, create another project for copy. Do that. All right. And then you will be able to just go into each of these projects and give one simple prompt, like give me headlines for this. I'm selling a wedding ring at this price. Don't put the price in, but you should know the price. I'm selling it to this type of person and for this long. And here's scarcity, urgency, all guarantees, bonuses, all these sort of stuff that you can use that I'm offering to my clients. Go make the headlines using all of, and those projects will use everything that you fed it and create a bunch of headlines, right? Actually, you know what? I think I'll next video maybe I should do a video showing you exactly how to do it, and it's gonna be a like 5-hour video because I'm just gonna be copying, pasting, copying, pasting, copying, pasting, copying, pasting. But I want you guys to see exactly what it takes to make killer ads, right? And again, please remember that with Andromeda, now for for everyone who's not a Facebook nerd, Andromeda is this new Facebook AI update, is just how Facebook ads will work. Is that Facebook doesn't give a shit anymore about targeting like it used to, right? What it gives a what it cares about, what it cares about is the amount of creatives, right? 1,000, right? The amount of sheer volume, amount of photos, of videos, of reels, of banner ads, right? Of UCG or whatever it's called. I never used, but UCG, user generated. Yeah. All right. UCG, U, UG or whatever. I don't know. I never use them, but the amount of volume that it takes, I have seen that if, for example, you're testing 30 ads every Monday, right, you will get like 5 winners of them. And then you can delete all of the rest. Don't delete them, just toggle them off, right? Keep those 5 running. And then next Monday, make ads that are similar to those. And that's kind of what matters. But again, obviously, headline is, other than the creative, headline is by far the most important part of the ad. All right. So I hope this video was useful. I hope you use Claude. Don't use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is useless, right? use Claude for writing, right? Use Claude for writing. Creative is the most important. Volume of creative is the most important. Headline is the second most important in Facebook ads. In Google ads, very different, right? But in Facebook ads, headline is the second most important thing. Volume, headlines, and use Claude for writing. I hope this video was useful for you guys. If you want to learn how to place an ad and get customers, basically strangers from Facebook, to become customers for your jewelry shop, for your goldsmith shop, then click the link in the description of this video and I will show you click by click how to get shitloads of leads for you to call with your cell phone or text with your cell phone, email with your cell phone, or automate all of those things with your cell phone so that they become customers in your shop. They send you referrals, they buy really expensive stuff, and then they come again and again. All right. That's the point. So if you want to learn how to get customers from Facebook, click the link in the description of this video.